In this video, I'm just going to show you a bunch more example speed solves. Alrighty, let's do some more example solves. I'll do some on white and then I'll do some color neutral ones. So looking around here, we have our white cross pieces are here, 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 and here. So we can do something, trying to figure out the best way to do this. We can do something like this. So if we do R prime, B prime, R prime, to insert those two, then we can do R prime, D prime, R like that using wide moves. And also notice that when we do those three moves to insert these two, the R prime, D prime, R like that, these two pieces aren't affected. So we can go straight away and insert those into the back, ideally. Now we can do a few different things here because we've been set up quite nicely. So we have these two pieces as well as these two pieces. It probably is easiest to just insert these two, knowing that when we take this edge out like this, these two pieces also come like this, so they're really easy to insert. And when we insert this pair, we change these two from a disconnected pair to a connected pair. So we can insert these two here, and there was a few rotations in there, but that's okay. And then we can insert these two to finish off. And as we're doing that, notice that when we do RU, R prime, U prime, RU, R prime, we get this big yellow bar at the front, and we have these two edges oriented. So we have OLL. And before doing that, the standard OLL algorithm permutes corners when you have opposites here and opposites here. In this case, we have opposites here and the same color here. So we'll get a corner permutation which has an adjacent swap for our PLL. As we can see, we have an F permutation because we have these three pieces together immediately and no blocks over here. And so that's solved. Okay, so our four cross pieces are here, 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 and here. And we can do something like this. So we can solve this cross without rotating the cube at all by doing U prime, R prime, F to insert these two. Then do D2, R prime, F2, D2 to solve these two. So D2 misaligns the corners. R prime inserts this one, F2 inserts this one, and then the D2 at the end finishes them off. And notice that when we do the R prime F2, we've got this corner, which won't be affected, and this corresponding edge will come into the top layer like that. So we didn't rotate and we're already ready for our first pair. Now we can insert these two in a few different ways. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this here. A nice way to do this would be to hide the edge, RU prime, R prime, FU, F prime. And the finger tricks for that are a little bit awkward, but they're not too bad. The next pair we can do is these two. Notice that when we do these two, I don't know if I'd do this in a speed solve, but when we line this up and do an L to hide the edge, and we've got this F2L pair that comes out here. So instead of solving this one straight away and messing this one up, we can also insert that one into the back and then continue doing that one. Again, I'm not sure if I'd do this in a speed solve. Last pair is this edge and this corner, and we have we have all of our edges oriented. So if we insert it we can either rotate to the right to solve these into the back or rotate to the left here. I'll generally rotate to the right and do that. And then probably what I would do here is instead of just inserting this and getting a pi OLL case, I would do a U2, insert it, and put it into the back to give myself a T OLL, which I know a lot of ZBLLs for. So in this case, we have, well, the easiest possible ZBLL for T, which is just a 3 cycle of corners, literally just the regular OLL. Okay, third white cross example. So we have our edge pieces here, 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 and here. We can do something like this to solve the cross without rotating. So hold the yellow on top and blue on front. Do D prime, F prime, L prime to solve these two, and relative to this one as well. And then when we do a D, we have this edge already in place. So we can insert this corner by doing a U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R, then do a D2, and that gives us our an extended cross using keyhole. And then we have these two, which we can rotate and insert into the back, like so. Then there are a few different things we can do. It's probably not worth it to try and preserve edges for this case. We can do something really fancy, but it probably wouldn't do this in speed solves. So instead of trying to preserve these three edges, we can just solve these two as normal, and then solve these two on the left. So we didn't have to rotate during the last two F2L pairs. And then we've got an OLL, and then PLL. All right, so we've got a scrambled cube, and what I immediately see is this big block of blue pieces, so I'll look for the other edges in this cross, and I notice that we've got this one and this one here. And we also have this corner matching this edge. So we can do something along the lines like this. So we can do L, F prime, L2, and notice that when we do that, this edge piece wasn't affected, which is the corresponding edge piece for this corner. So then when we do a D2, instead of doing an F straight away, we can do a U and then an F, and then insert this pair into the front right like that. After we do that, I did see this corner while solving that, as well as its corresponding edge down here. So we can pair it up and insert it into the back like so. Then we'll probably need to rotate and solve these two, as that's what I saw first. Like that, which is reasonably straightforward. And then these two as well. So we actually solved those last two without rotating, even though we had some misoriented edges. And then we have OLL, and then PLL. Like that. All right, so on this scramble, there are actually a lot of different starts we can do. So one example would be to solve the yellow cross, so these two, and this one down here as well. But I think what might be slightly better is just to do the white cross, because we have this edge and this corner matched up, and the edge that belongs back here next to this corner is over here, and the edge that belongs in this position, so the edge that corresponds to this F2L corner, is over here. So we can do something like this. So remember that this piece is here, so we can do R2, B prime, R2, F, R to insert all their edges, and then we can insert this edge down here. Now, instead of inserting this edge straight away, I also noticed that we have this corner and this edge here, and I actually didn't see this in inspection, so I wouldn't do this in a solve. But what we can do, instead of just inserting that like that, we can do an RU2 R prime to pair this up as well as insert this edge. That way, when we solve the cross and get the extended cross with keyhole, we can solve this pair into the back straight away. At this stage, it gets a little bit more tricky because we don't have particularly nice F2L cases. So we can do something like this. So I think I would probably do these two first. So to set those two up to this case, and then insert those. Then do OLL and PLL. All right, last example, and we've got some really nice stuff on red here. So again, we're going to do a keyhole extended cross. So we have this piece here, this piece here, this piece here, and this piece here. And we notice that we have this edge piece matching up with its corner again. So we can do something like DLF prime to finish these two and have this corner here. And then we have this last cross edge here and this F2L edge over here. So we can do RU prime, RU2R, D2 to finish those off. Now, what I saw actually before finishing that off was actually this F2L edge back here and this corner here. But we also notice we've got these two here, which is probably wiser to do these two and insert them into the back. So that way we have our front two slots unfilled and we can do them reasonably easily. So we can do this edge with keyhole, like that. And then we can insert this pair, like so. Now when I get to this OLL case, from experience, I know that doing F sexy move F prime will actually orient these two edges and give me a T OLL, like so. And I know a lot of the T ZBLLs, so that's quite handy. It's also useful to notice the corner permutation of this OLL as well. So for example, we have these two stickers the same and these two stickers the same, which indicates actually a diagonal swap of corners. So again, doing F sexy move F prime actually swaps two corners diagonally in terms of corner permutation, what it does to corner permutation. So I know that doing F sexy move F prime from this OLL, from this corner permutation, will give me a T ZBLL with all the corners already permuted. So that's this case. So we can see this one is in its spot and this one is in its spot. And from here, I simply do the algorithm RU, R prime U, RU prime, R prime U, R prime U prime, R2 U prime, R2 U2 R, and then AUF.